Okay, today we are going to make wormeries. And if you don't know what a wormery is, it's an easy way for you to turn kitchen waste and grass clippings and leaves into liquid and organic compost, which you can then use to help garden. The compost is really nutrient rich for the soil, and it helps provide any new plants, like if you're planting tomatoes or spinach or even flowers. Having all those extra nutrients in the soil is going to make it that much healthier for the plant to grow. So for this project, you're going to need an empty jar. You will want the lid. I haven't poked holes in mine yet, but you will need to have holes poked in it so that oxygen can move around inside your jar. You will also need some of the following things. You will need some soil, some gravel, about 1/4 cup of gravel, some sand. I took this sand from my daughter's play sandbox outside. You need some grass clippings, 1 tablespoon of water, and in this cup I have 3 worms. You don't need many more than 3, and in fact 2 is probably plenty. The first thing you're going to do is put your gravel in the bottom of your jar. That's going to allow any liquid to drain to the bottom and not have to sit inside the dirt and be all soupy. Okay, so I've got my gravel in. And then you're going to alternate 1-inch layers of sand and soil. So I'll start with sand this time. This time, I'm going to use my spoon to make it a little bit less messy. I'm not going to shake it too hard, but I want it to kind of settle. And then I'm going to put in a layer about 1 inch deep of soil. And I'm going to make a huge mess while I'm at it. That's okay, because messes are good. That's 1 inch. Okay, so I've got another layer of sand to do. So having the sand in the soil is important because it also is a little bit less dense, and dense means tight or close together. It's a little bit less dense than the soil, so it allows for more oxygen to travel around through the soil. Alright, and I'm going to do my last layer of soil quite a bit deeper because I want to have enough soil for the worms to really get to work. So I'm going to do that one about 2 inches deep. Alright. Does not have to be pretty layers. Now is the fun part. Now we get to put our worms in. So I found my worms in our garden, which is a great place for them to be. But since I'm using them to make compost, it's okay we spare a few. Whee! That was 2 worms. Or it just broke in half. I don't even know. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna put my first one in. That was crazy. 2, and since I have a really big jar, I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 worms. I know he's in here somewhere. Where did you go? There you are. Ooh. This worm's crazy. Alright, you can see him jumping around. So I have some pretty tiny ones, so I get to see how much they grow. After you get your last layer of soil in and put your worms on top, you're going to put 1 tablespoon of water over top the soil. Worms, like salamanders, are creatures that need to be kept moist. So that wasn't quite a tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. The last thing that I'm going to do is add a little layer of grass clippings. If I had like a little apple peel, actually I do, wait here. I said that we could use our wormery to help break down kitchen waste into a usable resource. But it's really important that you don't put too many kitchen scraps in here. I'm not just going to put in a whole apple core or the rest of my salad. I'm not going to put in the entire container of blueberries that's going bad in the refrigerator. I'm going to take small bits and help break them up even smaller. So this is part of an apple peel that my daughter didn't eat. So I'm going to put just a couple of pieces of that in there. So if you put too much, it's just going to rot and stink, and it's going to become a disgusting place where the worms cannot thrive. You have to think they're very small creatures. 3 worms in 1 little jar cannot take out an entire apple core before that apple core rots and turns to liquid. So I've got my grass clippings, I've got a couple of little food scraps in there. I'm going to loosely put some more apple. And then my wormery is done. It's ready to do its job. I will be able to watch, if you have a clear jar like mine, you'll be able to see the worms kind of when they go along the side and tunnel, and you'll see the grass clippings break down. And if you gently take a spoon, you can move around and find the worms and check on your food scraps to see if it's time to put more in. One last thing is storing your wormery. Do not keep your wormery in direct sunlight. If you do, it will get too hot inside your jar and the worms will not be able to thrive. They will eventually die, and the heat will make your food waste rot too quickly. You want to keep it in a place in your home or outside where it is cool and where your pets can't get at it. If you keep your lid on it, it has to have holes in it. So if I put my lid on right now without these holes, my wormery wouldn't work. I would just kill the worms. I need to have lots of holes in this, or I can keep it just like it is out of the way somewhere. Okay? If you make a wormery, I would love to see pictures of it, so you can find a way to post it or have your parents text me a picture. Have fun!